Can I just talk really quick about how I hate this guy? I am so sorry. First and foremost, let me just applaud Marissa because Marissa was a true girl the entire time. She was genuine. She was herself. She was amazing. And Ramses knew for a fact since the beginning that he could not bring her into his life. He knew that since the beginning. Now, I hate a person who will say that they have these stipulations about shit, and then kind of make it your fault, right? Like, he's like, yeah, like, I mean, I want to have sex, I don't want to have kids too early, and blah, 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 but the sex has to be enjoyable. I'm not wearing a condom. Okay, if you're not wearing a condom, and you're with someone who is not going to be on birth control, fucking with their hormones, fucking with their bodies, because birth control, like, does a lot of shit to people, okay? If you're not even willing to wear a fucking condom for me, why the fuck would I do birth control for you? It's unrealistic. He's disgusting. I'm so sorry. He grossed me out, like, really, really bad. He's talking about the sex has to be enjoyable. He's talking about... Okay, now this probably triggers me the most because I've been there. Been with a guy who was super, like, hyped by me, who felt super loved and cared about and felt like I was a good time and blah, 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 blah. And then when it came down to it, a little time passed and my energy is, quote, quote, too much. That's literally been said to me before. And so my soul broke for Melissa. My soul broke for her. And yeah, I mean, it just really, really sucks. It sucks bad, especially to hear that from someone that, you know, it's not like you, like, were pretending to be someone else the whole time. You were yourself the entire time, and they knew exactly who you were. It's up to the person to be like, can I handle this every day? This is this person's baseline, and they've showed me that, and they've told me that this is their baseline. Can I put up with that? And if your answer is no, then you're simply wasting that person's time. And I do feel like he was malicious and dishonest. I really, really honestly do. Malicious and dishonest. He was leading her on the entire time, because what do you mean, I'm sure, I picked out our slow dance song and all of this stuff. I've never made a video about Love is Blind before, but this character really got to me. And then at the end, he wants to look like the good guy. He wants to look like, you know, he doesn't want the internet to cook his ass, so he's like, oh, it's not me, it's you. Dude, we've heard that before. We already know what that is. That is you pretty much gaslighting the fucking girl. Of course it's not her, it's you. It's always been you. There's nothing that she did differently. She's been herself the entire experiment, and you were pretending to be okay with it, maybe for the check, maybe to be a D-list celebrity. Who knows? But at the end of the day, he was being very facetious. He was being very, like, not true to who he is. And virtually what he said was very insulting. What he said was very insulting when he was breaking shit off with her. He knew the exact thing to say to break her. You're too much. I can bet my dinner for the night that she's heard that before, and that she's told him that she's heard that before. My energy is too much. And so for another guy, this to be some guy who pretended to love her so much and care about her so much, to have that be like the parting words, you're just too much for me, your energy is just too much for me, day to day, this is too much for me. Absolute callous, disgusting, possibly narcissistic man. And yeah, I'm really starting to get that narcissist vibe from him, because he's super entitled, super self-interested. Oh, the sex has got to be good. The sex has got to be enjoyable. Okay, motherfucker, get a vasectomy. They're reversible. Go ahead. He just really grossed me out. I'm sorry, and I have not been triggered by a person on a TV show as much as this since Cole from Game of Thrones, the second spin-off series or whatever it's called, House of Dragon. He triggered me so much because he said the exact thing that he knew would break her. And I can kind of see where his brain was going with that. He wanted to find a believable reason that didn't make him the person at fault. Well, here's this thing she's heard before, so she can believe that this is truly why I don't want to be with her. Her energy. Here's something she's heard before, so she'll believe me if I say that. Rather than her just figuring out I was in it to be a D-list celebrity, or I was in it for the paycheck, or whatever. For me, besides Tyler being a disgusting liar, this is the grossest man. Like, this is the underdog of the grossest men I've ever seen in reality TV. I hope he meets himself in another person.